Sit down and heal with Coach Derrick. Let that old pain breathe and we air it. You already know that you need to heal. Let me show you how. Turn the volume up, talk it out right now. Sit down and heal with Coach Derrick. You picking through, can you feel it? You already know that you need to heal. Let me show you how. Turn the volume.
And welcome to another episode of the Sit Down and Heal podcast. My name is Coach Derrick, and I am your host. I'm a certified healing journey coach and relationship coach, which means I bridge you between the two. I help you heal first so that when you go back outside, or if you're already in a relationship, you can do it better because you are better. And the slogan that we have here is, you already know that you need to heal. Let me show you how. I'm the how, guys. I'm the structure. I'm the planning for your healing journey so that you don't veer off too much, that you don't do it at all. Stop telling your friends and family that you're working on yourself, and all you're doing is sitting at home, departing from the human existence and experience because trauma. So let me help you. If you need my help, all you have to do is contact me via website, sitdownandheal.com, or inbox me on the social media platform that you're watching me on. So let's get to this. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I affectionately, titled this Mental Health and Love because a lot of times we talk about mental health, we talk about depression, anxiety, stress, and we talk about it for ourselves, but how does it affect how we show up in relationships? What does that look like? And we're going to go through a little bit of this. So stand by. A lot of us are going through some of this stuff right now. So trigger warning. However, if you're going to get triggered somewhere on these internet streets, you might as well get triggered by somebody that can point you in a direction to the help. So it's okay. I got you. So now, and y'all bear with me because some of this is about me too. Ain't that always the case? So the topic and the title of this is Depression Doesn't, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Depression, emotional disconnection, and numb love. We're going to define these. Depression, emotional disconnection, and numb love, right? So I have some notes here. So when you see me looking over, it's the notes because I'll be all over the place. I need for all of us to stay focused because this one can get kind of heavy. Depression doesn't always look like sadness. Depression doesn't always look like sadness. We expect for it to look like something so that we could be like, that person looks depressed. Let me tell you something. Years ago, I was going through some stuff and I was depressed. And one of my closest friends was like, stop lying. You don't look like you depressed. And I was like, what? Isn't that the point? Right? If I'm depressed, but I'm functioning in society, I'm supposed to not let you see it. That's what we do to try to cope. So you don't, and she was just like, you just don't look like it. Like you go live and you look happy. And I was like, so you really ain't seen depression before. Right? So now, if it doesn't look like sadness all the time, and we functionally depressed, we go to work, we take care of our kids, and it doesn't look sad, then what does it really look like? How does it feel? Like, I know there are a lot of people that are going to be on here that have diagnoses and all these kind of things. I want to put the disclaimer out. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a dude that been through some things just like you, and sometimes we got to talk it out in a way that a lot of people can understand, and maybe this leads you to get to the help. But we just going to talk it out. So now, sometimes it looks like emotional distance, lack of motivation, irritability, withdrawal, or feeling emotionally numb in relationships. Right? Yeah, in the comments, one of the comments says it looks like crying at your desk for no reason. Yeah. Whew, the load that it feels like when you're dealing with this stuff, and not knowing how to cope with it, not knowing how to regulate yourself or ground yourself, it's daunting. And it will sit on your back like an elephant, and you will be like, I don't know how to get out of it. And a lot of us, have grown up or come from cultures or society where, historically they was just like, if you ask for help, then you a punk. Like, what you doing? So we got to normalize getting better. learning how to regulate in whatever it takes by any means necessary, because especially if you're a mom, a dad, or whatever, sister, brother, the way that you are affects them in ways too that you may not even realize because you're dealing with your own stuff. You know what I mean? So now, many people are trying to love others while secretly struggling to feel connected to themselves. I need for y'all to really, really understand this statement right here. And I'm going to read it again. Many people are trying to love others while secretly struggling to feel connected to themselves. Struggling to feel connected to themselves. That means there's a lack of awareness, right? And a lot of times you can learn that a lot of this stuff from me, right? Or if your depression or whatever you're dealing with is just it's above me, I'll let you know, like, it's above me, but this is where you can go. But go somewhere, right? Because it's hard. And I know the level of depression that I went through is nothing compared to what some other people go through that are like clinically diagnosed. I would never know that. But we have that on us, and we still have to or try to participate in a relationship, and or we're pushing ourselves outside to go date people with this. Sometimes you need to sit down and heal first, right? Pun intended. So now, when you say you're struggling to feel connected to yourself, if you can't connect to yourself, how can then you participate in something that looks like or is a relationship and connect to them if you can't even regulate you? So then what we end up doing is performing so that they feel happy, even if we're not. You lose in the end because you lose yourself performing every day. So now you have the dauntingness of the depression or the anxiety, and then you got to perform, and that makes you even more tired. And you got to wake up in the morning and rinse and repeat. Let's breathe. So now we're going to go through some of these bullet points so that we can expand this. So the goal of this is to not just talk it out, but some people are going to hear some things that's going to give them an epiphany, hopefully, to want to try to do more to either change or help yourself get better. So the first bullet point is we're going to expand on the fact that depression doesn't always look sad. So one of the biggest misconceptions about depression is that it always looks emotional. Sometimes it just looks empty. And this is one of the things that I always talk about, especially, and we're going to use gender. So just bear with me, guys. It's not always gender specific, but we talk about men and how men don't share and men aren't emotional and men aren't whatever. But sometimes a lot of men are depressed, and all you got to do is just watch them. It's not even, you won't necessarily see emotion, but you'll see behavior. You'll see disconnection. You'll see lack of interest. You'll see sitting on the couch too long and not doing the chores, right? But they used to do it. Now what happens? Sometimes there's something on them that they don't even know how to translate over to you other than, I got it. I'm good. These are signals sometimes. And so instead of beating people up about why they don't share like you do, watch them. The behavior always is louder than the mouth. So now, what this could look like is lack of energy, emotional flatness, isolation, disconnection, exhaustion, irritability, and feeling mentally checked out. So a lot of us don't have to imagine this. Imagine any or all of those while you're functioning in a loving relationship, but you're not telling the person that you're going through it. You keep telling them you're fine, right? That's what functional depression looks like. And your partner, a lot of times it's like, nah, something's off. And then now you have to perform to prove to them that everything's okay. And now you got two things sitting on you now. Because now you got to make sure that they don't see you the way that you see you. I hope y'all caught that. So now, even with this depression on them, they'll still go to work. They'll still text you back. They'll still show up physically. because they feel like they have to. This is the performance. This is the functioning, right? But emotionally, even though they're there, they feel absent. So imagine feeling absent while you're standing right there in front of your person and having a smile. I'm all right. I'll be all right. I got it. Now, the person that you're saying that to probably doesn't have the skill set or knowledge of how to fix it, but they know that something's off. They know something's off. They want to help you, but you got to want to help you first. Then we could talk about, whatever the lane that needs to go down is going. It might be therapy. It might be psychiatry. It might be whatever. Scary. But what's scarier is you living like this every week, every day for eternity. What do you become? Who do you, without consciously doing it, who do you push away from you? Because you are pushing you away from you. Who are you? Do you even know? Do you even know who to get back to? Because you always been like this. Right? Some of y'all can go back and look at your parents and be like, pattern is repeating itself. Right? So now, depression often makes people emotionally unavailable without realizing it. Without realizing it. And so, if I don't know that I'm emotionally unavailable, sometimes you may point it out, be like, nah, and you will fight tooth and nail that you are available so that they don't have to see you the way that you see you. You would be like, no, I'm not. I'm here. What I got to do to fix it? Meanwhile, you going through it and you have to perform. Right? Anybody ever I won't say anybody because I know y'all been outside. Anybody ever been out dancing and you danced all night so hard that the next day you had to recover because your body wasn't prepared for all of that? Right? Imagine feeling like that next day, every day, without the dancing. And you got to functionally move about and do life and adulting and all of this other kind of stuff every day, unchecked, just fatigued and tired, and sleeping a lot and doing all the things that depression would make you do to feel like you coping with it. And what you're really doing over time is you're programming your brain that this is normal. So it will play tricks on you. It will make you feel tired when you shouldn't be tired because it's used to you doing it, right? So we have to interrupt that pattern by getting help or figuring out how to regulate better, because it's not just about you, especially when you are a family or whatever it is. They're watching you go through it and watching you pretend that it's, what's interesting? You pretend that everything's so good all the time when it's not. And the people that point it out and you be like, nah, I got it. They then get conditioned to not ask you if you need help anymore. So now you just shot yourself in the foot again. Because when you do need help, they're going to be like, you kept saying you was good, so we saw it though. We saw it the whole time. Right? So now we're going to move on to the next section here. Emotional numbness in relationships. What does that look like? What does it feel like? Emotionally numb. You got to think about this. We're humans. We're emotional creatures, right? Numbing that turns you into something else. And you got to show up and act like you love that person while the emotions are numb. Depression can dull emotional experiences. Some of y'all I don't have to tell this to. So people stop when this is on. You stop feeling excited about stuff. You feel you stop feeling emotionally connected to things. You stop feeling present. Feeling emotional. You stop feeling emotionally expressive. You just a muted down version of yourself. But also in a relationship, right? Like you will inadvertently cause your partner to be doing like what I call the calculus problem. They trying to figure it out because you're not telling them. And they looking at you like, you ain't touched me in a while. You must not be attracted. Then they start making up stuff. And the person is sitting there like, I'm good. What are you talking about? I don't understand. What no. And they're like, I can see that you're not doing the normal stuff. Then you get mad at them for asking. Isn't that's interesting, right? You get mad at them for asking because they see the pattern change. Especially y'all, ladies, y'all see them pattern changes real fast. Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate that a lot of us aren't aware enough to speak and say, I'm stressed out today, or I'm feeling depression right now and I just need some time to get myself together. We don't even know how to do that. It's simple, right? But not, why you did it should be simple, but it's not. You have to be aware that it's happening, right? Like my tell or how I used to be like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Even when people were saying, nah. And I'd be like, don't worry, I got it, I got it, I got it. And then I would push myself to show that I got it and make it worse. But let me tell you something. When that stress and that depression is on you, your body keeps the score. And so much so that I ended up going to the hospital, stress. And after that, I was like, yeah, today I can't do it. Like now I'm almost overly expressive about what's going on with me so that the people that love me have a fighting chance at kind of like, maybe taking some stuff off my plate or giving me space and things like that. And it makes for a healthier connection when you can actually like speak those things out loud. Right? So I'm looking at the comments, said takes medication, exercise, help. Yep, all of the above. But to do nothing and pretend like it's not there, it's really it's some crucial, right? Um Let me make sure I'm keeping on track because y'all know. um so what it looks like is I don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel off. I feel disconnected from everything. But see, you listen to the words, right? I don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel off. I feel disconnected. Even those words are a level of awareness that a lot of people don't even have to be able to say it out plainly like that. So instead of saying anything about what it feels like, the easiest thing is to say just, I'm good, leave me alone, and just hope it goes away. But does it? Right? Your partner, right? Because we're talking about how this affects the person that you're with. Because even though it's going through something you're going through, it affects the environment around you too. You just don't know it because you're in your own head, your own mind, your own heart, right? So your partner may feel ignored, unwanted, emotionally abandoned. So now, catch this. Y'all ready? We about to put a little bit of paprika on top of this real quick. Hold on. So now, those of you who've been following me will know where I'm about to go. I'm gonna read this last sentence again. Your partner feels emotionally abandoned. So now, let's go ahead. So now you are dealing with depression. You are becoming more distant because of your depression, but your partner may be an anxious attachment with an abandonment wound that they may or may not be working on. And just because your depression is on you triggered them into a trauma response. Now things start to get interesting because now the anxious one has to make sure that you're good so that their inner child can feel calm. So they're going to try to force it out of you. And then what? It's going to piss you off. So now you got to react, and now we got a whole conflict, and you're depressed at the same time. The abandonment is not new. The abandonment's been there their whole life. It's just triggering it. The person's depression and separation is triggering the abandonment wound, but that wound was there before they met them. It's been there since they was a kid. It shows up everywhere. You just don't know it because you don't realize the kid is driving. So you pretend like it's other people hurting you and all of this other kind of stuff, but you're picking people to make you not feel abandoned subconsciously. And then some things they may or may not do will trigger it. And you don't even realize it until you get into the relationship that is there, right? So the depressed person may still care deeply. They just don't have emotional access to express it consistently, right? And I talked about that, not knowing how to express it, so you hold it in, right? And it's something that it's something that you have to learn and practice, right? Understanding what those cues are, right? It's not easy when you're going through it, but understanding how your body feels when it's on you, understanding how your behavior, you have to step outside yourself and see how you move. It'll tell a story. But if you don't know how to do that, your partner's like what you want? I don't know how to help you. Right? And yes, in the comments, someone says, I'm not purposely not saying names because it's going to be not just TikTok, so they won't know that I'm talking directly to people. So yes, we blame everyone else for ourselves. Yeah, Dina, I just said your name and I said I wasn't gonna do it. My bad. So there's a comment that says, I'm emotionally abandoned by people. I'm there to listen to their problems. They don't do the same for me, right? So hold on, Dina. She's trying to help, right? So look, this is what that statement means, Dina. We subconsciously choose people that will treat us like that because of something about us, right? So for an example, the way that you are describing, it sounds like you have an anxious attachment and you're probably more empathic and highly sensitive person. I'm one too. But somehow the universe we pair ourselves with people that will trigger it in us. Right? So when we say people abandoning us, it's really us not being aware that that's how we are, and that makes us choose people that will trigger it. So when the other person says abandoning self, it's basically meaning a lack of awareness, and that's why it's not just one person in your life that's done this, it's many. Right? So it's a pattern. And so what I do here at Sit Down and Heal Coaching is that we parse through the patterns so that we can find the origin story so that we can start the healing point there instead of saying people abandon me. And it's really us looking for a certain type of person, and we get close to them, and then they're going to trigger that abandonment wound, whether they do it on purpose or not. It's a weird thing that we do. And most people who tend to be more empaths, fixers, we care too much, we always got this story. All of us that are like this, we have story of zero reciprocity and us doing most of the emotional labor. Right? That's what we do. But we can learn how to be better by the healing journey that we do here, and then build healthier boundaries so that it's not that you change that part of you, you change who you grant access to that part of you. So hopefully that makes sense. So now, the next section we hear is, and yes, in the comments, if you don't know the roots of your trauma, it's hard to work on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. It would almost feel impossible. That's one of the primary reasons why I became not just a relationship coach, but a healing journey coach, because if we don't find the root, no dating advice is ever going to really work for you. you're going to still have those repetitive patterns because it's been with you your whole life and you just don't realize it. So I'm here to open your eyes so that we can see better, so we don't keep hanging around people that don't show us reciprocity, that don't like, we are choosing them, whether it's subconscious or not. It's a weird thing to say because it's almost like, oh, he's victim blaming. No, I'm talking about you before you met them, not while you were with them. That's just the symptom, but not the cause. So hopefully that makes sense. So the next section I have here is called When Love Starts Feeling Like Work. So we don't even really have to go through these bullet points, right? Those words alone are enough, right? Depression drains emotional and mental energy, right? We already know that, right? Even basic relationship tasks can feel overwhelming. Communicating can feel overwhelming. Being affectionate can feel like a lot. Planning dates, right? The other partner will be looking at you like, we haven't planned anything in months. Like, what's going on? And you're like, everything's cool. What you talking about? It could be overwhelming to respond to things emotionally because remember, emotionally numb, right? Holding conversations is hard. You just want to be left alone. These are the cues, right? The person begins withdrawing to conserve energy. Sometimes we don't even realize we withdraw and that we isolate, even when people are pointing it out. But our body and our mind and our nervous system is trying to find some sort of safety. It just doesn't know what to do. And that's why we have to get help. That's why we have to learn more about ourselves so that we can kind of navigate it better. So, hold on, I want to make sure I don't, because I would be going on 10,000 tangents if I didn't have this bullet list. So what often happens, the person begins withdrawing. Okay, we talked about that. The problem is the partner interprets the withdrawal as rejection, disinterest, and lack of love. See, this is important. Remember, I talked about this. You are inadvertently triggering something in them when you are the one isolating because you don't have the language, right? That's why it's important to learn more about, become more aware about yourself and how you move and track your own patterns so that you can say, you know what? I did say I was all right, but I'm really not. I just need you to give me a little bit of time and I'm gonna be okay. Like it's simple stuff. It's so hard to get out though, because you don't know. Right. And so what we end up doing sometimes is we gaslight them so they can shut up. Because it's hard to communicate, right? But your partner feels neglected because you're not giving them a fighting chance to understand it. That doesn't mean you know, but you do know something's off. Right? Sometimes the issue isn't love, it's emotional capacity. When you have a diminished emotional capacity, people will see and feel that you don't love them, but you most likely do. It just doesn't look like it because you're dealing with stuff and you're not saying it. And I'm really, really, really hardcore talking to men. We gotta do better. Because our women are out here trying to help. Not all. But they're trying to help. And we need to start understanding that we need to learn language around these things. And you know, sometimes it's not even having like a whole paragraph of stuff to describe it. Sometimes it can just be, give me a minute. I need some time. And then that person at least knows something versus nothing. Right? A lot of times we give them nothing but I'm all right. And it's not true. So the cycle of withdrawal and misunderstanding goes like this. This is how we break the pattern down. I broke it down and I wrote it down because I gotta stay on task, y'all. So if we need it, let's take a collective breath. Breathe out. Let it go. We're gonna keep going. So now, this is the pattern. The depression causes emotional withdrawal. You pull away. The partner notices the distance. The partner then becomes anxious, frustrated, or hurt. So imagine if your partner already had an abandonment wound anyway. Now they really tingling, right? And then the next thing that happens is it then creates conflict, and it increases the pressure on the depressed person because they're not talking about it. So the partner is interpreting it with no factual information other than you withdrawing. So now they're painting a picture in their head of what that withdrawal means without your input. So now they got to come at you like, what the hell? And now you pissed off. So you got to be like, who you talking to? And now nobody's talking about the problem. Right? Now your partner may have some things to work on too. But withdrawing don't feel good for anybody. So then here's the plot twist, y'all. That conflict is gonna make you, the depressed person, feel a kind of way. Like, dang, I'm depressed. You would not necessarily know that you're depressed, but you be like, I'm feeling like this and I gotta deal with this conflict. Guess what you're gonna do? Withdraw more, back up more, which then reignites the fire of your partner trying to figure it out. Now, both people are disconnected, not just you. Because they don't want to deal with it either now. Y'all both disconnected, but for different reasons. You disconnected because you depressed. They disconnected because they think you don't love them no more. Like, what's going on? One feels emotionally overwhelmed and the other feels emotionally neglected. We got a problem. You know how people say communication is one of the most important things in a relationship? This is it. The only way that you increase this is to increase the awareness in yourself so that you understand yourself enough to say, I'm not feeling well. It's the easiest and the hardest thing to do when you're going through stuff, but it helps your partner understand. So we're going to move to the next one because there's another, this emotional disconnection versus it being interpreted as not caring, right? So depression can make people appear cold, detached, uninterested, emotionally unavailable. But appearance and intention are not always the same. So a download. When I say download, guys, it means I just had an epiphany and it just went through the ball head. So I got to make it come out the mouth now. Appearance and intention are not always the same. So we functionally know this in real life because a lot of times when someone is withdrawing, but they're still trying to participate in a relationship, and the person calls it out, and then you be like, I'm not that person. I didn't intend for it to be that way. That's not what I meant. My withdrawal is, and they be like, no, you withdraw because you don't like me. And they be like, but I intended it to be this way. So I don't understand why you reacted that way. Sometimes intention and impact do not line up. And then we will get mad at the partner for getting mad at us withdrawing. Isn't that wild? So you may feel internally numb, drained, mentally exhausted. Depression affects the person's ability to access the emotion, not necessarily their ability to love. I hope y'all caught that. It numbs your ability to access the emotion, so you don't know how to express it. The only thing you know is that you're dealing with it by any means necessary. Survival tactics come in, coping mechanisms or lack thereof. It becomes dangerous for some people. The shame that comes with depression, many people are battling depression feel guilty because we're not showing up, right? It's weird because we know it's happening. It's like an out of body experience, but it's like we can't control it. So we know in our body, in our brain, we know we're emotionally distanced. We know the partner is hurting. We see them lashing out and trying to figure it out for us. We know we're not showing up fully. And so inside our brains, we're like, I'm failing them. I'm becoming a burden to them. Sometimes we'll even say stuff like, I think you probably need to be with somebody else because I'm obviously doing too much and I see it's hurting you. You might need to, again, we're not talking about working on it. We're still existing in it and we want to push them away, right? I don't even recognize myself anymore. It's a true statement. It's what we say inside of our heads. And we convince ourselves of it until we learn how to work through it, right? Imagine saying this to yourself every day. Imagine feeling like this inside of a relationship and what your partner may have to deal with, even when trying to help you, right? So instead of opening up, you isolate even more, right? Think about marriages that lose intimacy, not because you don't love them. Sometimes there's something else going on, and it causes a rift, right? That's just one perspective. That's not the only one before y'all start typing. So now, here's one that y'all can relate to, especially those of you who are dating. Dating while emotionally unhealed. Some people enter relationships hoping love will fix their emotional pain. Y'all know I've been saying this for probably since before y'all even met me. Before I even got on TikTok, I was saying there's a lot of people in the dating pool that are looking for people to help them work on the stuff that they don't want to work on to make them feel better. You got to really look at why you in the dating pool too. Because a lot of people are not in the dating pool looking for somebody that aligns with them. They looking to feel better because they going through stuff. I think I did a show maybe back in like 2021 called You're Not Looking for a Partner, You're Looking for a Therapist when you're dating. And it's still true. Some things never change. Unresolved depression often follows them into the relationship. So what happens? The relationship becomes an emotional escape. The relationship becomes an emotional escape, which means once you get into a relationship, you feel like things are better now, so you don't have to work on it, but it's still there. It's still going to show up. It's still going to pop up and be like, hey, depression. So then that leads into all the stuff that we talked about, the conflict and all of that, right? You'd be like, what? Why are we fighting? The partner becomes your emotional caretaker, right? And I always, not jokingly, but jokingly, I'm like, y'all are looking for emotional support animals. Y'all not looking for husbands and wives. Y'all looking for somebody to make you feel better. So when are you going to work on it? Never. You're just going to move on and find another one. Or isolate yourself so that you don't never have to meet anyone again. And that's not healthy either. I'm talking about isolating for years. Right? So now, they rely on the relationship to feel stable. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying this for so long. Without this healing journey, without the awareness, without the healthy boundaries, you will choose from that traumatic state every time. Even when you think you know it all. If you are not understanding your childhood wounds, if you're not understanding why you picked before you met the person that hurt you, why you stayed long when you knew it was not healthy for you, if you don't understand how to regulate that, you will repeat the cycle and won't even realize it until you get hurt again. And if you're an empath, you ain't going to stop because we just love love. So we're going to keep trying to find it and keep hurting. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. It's time to sit down and heal. If you need my help to parse through this stuff, I'm here. But you got to ask for the help first. So now, the danger is when the relationship struggles, then their emotional state crashes harder. It's codependency. It's you're my crutch. When things go wrong, I'm going to panic. Like my life is in danger because you became my stability. I wasn't stable before I met you. So if I gave you ownership of my self-esteem, my self-worth, all of this stuff, I need you to make it feel better. if they ever leave, you're not going to be any good. You're going to have to fill up your cup yourself before you could ever participate in this. And yes, that means sometimes you're going to have to be by yourself for a while to get it together. But while you're sitting by yourself, you better be doing some work. And if you don't know how to do the work, that's what I help you with. No one taught us how to do this. But now that you know there's a problem, you owe it to yourself to figure out how to do it. And sitting at home for 5 years is not working on yourself. You'll be a worse dater coming out because your skills have dried up if you had them in the first place. And I know that with a certainty. They were like, well, I sat out of dating for 7 years and I'm going back out there and it's different, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how's that working out for you? I just stay at home and I don't really go outside and I just like you're still isolating. Still isolating. Which means what? You didn't build any resilience in those 7 years. You have more fear. So now, and those of you who don't have fear, you're going to run into something you ain't supposed to real fast. They're going to find you first. So either way, there is no healing. There's just coping. Dang, these one-liners, man. I got to write these down. So the mental health toll that it takes on both partners. Depression impacts both sides, not just you. Remember, I told you it affects that too. The environment around you too. You just don't realize it because you're the one going through it, right? The person struggling is isolating, the numbness, right? The guilt. And then the partner, we say they feel unwanted, they feel shut out, they feel confused, they get exhausted trying to help you, right? Loving someone with depression can be difficult, but supporting someone does not mean sacrificing your own mental health. Empaths. Supporting someone does not mean sacrificing your own mental health. Empaths, fixers, people pleasers. You will sacrifice your entire soul thinking you helping them and you laid out on the floor yourself. Now you depressed too. 2 depressed people now fighting every week. And you pretending that you happy and you won't leave and you won't fix it because I've been with the person for 2 years and I don't want to start all over, but you devastated every day. Who do you become? Now this is a little higher level thinking. Like I was inside the trenches too. Like I stayed too long too. Like we be trying to help and do and fix it. Oh, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, this verbal abuse, this emotional abuse, all this abuse. We just they'll be better. If I just love them more, empaths, if we just love them more and figure out how to help them, then they'll be what I need. No. They didn't ask you for the help. Message. They didn't ask for the help. They looked at you like the hell you doing and you still keep going. You know, when people say love is enough to sustain a relationship, I be like, I be damned. It's some stuff you're going to have to figure out that don't have anything to do with love. Oh, we were sold a bill of goods with that whole love is enough. Let's keep going. We're about to wrap this up soon, so just, healing requires more than love. I be on the nose, but don't be on the nose. Love alone does not heal depression. Does not heal depression. You can't love somebody. You can't do that. And if you could, they would be so dependent on you that you couldn't waver from it. You couldn't have a bad day. You got to always be the one to help them every day, all the time. Anybody, so it's not depression, right? But anybody have an elderly parent or had an elderly grandparent that was going through stuff like dementia, Alzheimer's, some kind of stuff, and you had to help them, like not without them having like nurses, aides, or not. You had to help them. You know what that does to you psychologically? While you got to do all of that, they not listening to you, and imagine having to deal with that with your partner every week. It will take the life out of you. But you still love them. But you're like, oh, wait, I haven't made time for me. And all the efforts that you do, you ain't going to get it back. It's a choice that you have to make in love, especially if the other person, whether they depressed, whatever it is, you're going to have a limit to where you're like, I can't. But some people, right? This is, my ministry, and I'm here to save the world, right? And that don't mean you leave them. Sometimes it's just having boundaries. Like, look, I got you, but today I'm going outside. I'll be back though, because I love you. So it don't always mean leave, but you're going to have to put yourself on the plate, or you're going to roll right off the plate. The depression explains the behavior, but it does not excuse emotional neglect forever. Forever. You're using it as an excuse forever, and you think I'm going to stay and deal with it? You don't want to go get help, though. I ain't going to no therapist. I'm good. Are you? You sure? Do you see me hurt? Now, you don't see that. Yeah, I get you depressed, all right. But you like a damn vampire. You done turned me into a depressed person now. Like, what the hell? Put yourself on the plate, ladies and gentlemen. Because no matter which side of this equation you're on, whether you're the depressed person or the partner, you're gonna have to figure out how to get you together, both of you. And then you're gonna have to figure out better ways to coexist. Because those conflicts are always going to come, and those conflicts have nothing to do with the problem 99% of the time. So healing may require therapy, a support system, rest, lifestyle changes, emotional processing. Let's think of emotional processing. Most people don't even know how. They just know that they're feeling something. That's one of the things you learn here is how to gain that emotional awareness. So you understand yourself better. So when it comes time to explain it, possibly, you have language around it. You understand it. If you don't take time to do that, then you all gas and no, you all reaction. You all triggers and reaction all the time, just to hope you're trying to keep yourself safe, but you're damaging the relationship at the same time. And won't care. Why? Because your prime directive is for you. We gonna dysfunctionally try to keep ourselves safe. We'll worry about you hurting later. You in a whole relationship, you in a marriage with your selfish ass. Stop it. Seek professional help. I know it's the boogie monster, but damn it, get the hell out the dating pool, because you the P too. Stop it. So now, what that emotional disconnection looks like, healing often begins with reconnecting to yourself. That self-awareness I talked about, right? And I help you with that here, but you got to ask for it. Because I don't chase grown-ups, okay? But I don't chase anybody. But you got to ask. The help is here. So when you start to reconnect with yourself, you start feeling the emotions again. Remember, emotionally numb, right? And that doesn't mean that this is void of help. This is with help, right? You start feeling the emotions again. You start becoming more emotionally present. You start rebuilding self-worth. We talked about that earlier. You gave them ownership of it, or you lost it, or you never had it even before you met them. because you was looking for somebody to fill it up for you. I swear to y'all, I be talking about this stuff every week and y'all don't be listening. So the relationship part of this, the shift is as you start to heal and your emotional health improves with help, right? Communication improves, vulnerability increases. Remember, I told you that's what I went through. I was a no vulnerability guy until I realized that speaking about it didn't make me weak, didn't make me a punk, it didn't make me less of a man. It gave my partner the ability to see me in a way that they could help, not help fix it, but help give me space if I needed it without trying to grab it from me so tough. Little things create a whole new trajectory for your relationship just by being able to have the language to say what's happening to you. Emotional intimacy becomes safer. You once you're able to be vulnerable about what you're going through and your partner has a fighting chance of kind of being there for you, you get closer. You didn't even see it coming. You get closer and you be like, I really love this person. Like they got my back. And even though you felt like that before, it's a deeper thing now because now you've opened up in a way that you never have. Especially men. I got it. I'm the man. No, you're depressed. You got stress and anxiety. Yes, you. And it's okay to say, I can't do it right now. I need some time. I know it's hard. But you know what's harder? Laying in the hospital bed talking about, I didn't know I was stressed out. Yes, you did. That was my story. I didn't become vulnerable until I was in the hospital bed because the stress was on my head. All of the above, stress, anxiety, depression, all of it, all at one in a big old gumbo bowl. And the people that love me was like, something's wrong. Just say what you mean. Say how you feel. And stop. I got it. I got it. It could get you a whole world of hurt. So now we're gonna land this plane because some of us gotta breathe after this. So now you can only love someone and still struggle to emotionally connect with them when you're disconnected from yourself. Right? You can love them and still struggle because depression or whatever else you're going through because you're disconnected from yourself. Way before you ever disconnected from them, you was disconnected with yourself. So you have to find reconnection to yourself in order to show up better, to show up more loving, to show up and want to connect more. But first, you need that healing journey. It's what I do here. This is my primary directive, is to help people have structure to their healing journey so that even when you veer off, you have a baseline to get back on track because it's about you. Once you get you together, you show up different in every aspect of your life, not just relationships. It's a you problem. And if you do not work on that, if you do not have a plan, and the plan can't just be, I'm just going to sit out for 5 years. That's not a plan. That's called avoidance. Avoidance just makes you 5 years older, the same person, but worse. Those of y'all who were hurt and then you sat out for 5 years and then you jump back in dating, you got hurt again. And you're like, wait, you got hurt again. There's a reason for that. Because you're still the same person with the same requirements. Subconsciously, your inner child is still doing the same thing. You haven't grown. Just got older. And if you need help with that, I got you. And the reason, let me tell you why I know this for an absolute fact, and it's really a toxic reason. When you take yourself out of the dating pool for years and you have done nothing to improve yourself, your boundaries, your awareness, healing, all of that, When you go back out and you say, you know what? I'm ready to date again. I'm going to just jump back out there, right? The people who have been in the dating pool consistently while you were sitting out, been building up a muscle. Know what that muscle is? They can tell fresh meat when it enters the dating pool. They can smell you like a shark because they know that your skills are not there. They're going to test you and you're going to fail. They're going to test you again and you're going to fail quicker than you did before. And you're going to be like, I thought sitting out was going to, no. They will find you. Here's another way that I can explain it to you guys, right? And I always talk about the empaths because I'm one, right? Let's say that you're an empath, right? Let's say that you're an empath, people pleaser, fixer, right? You didn't work on your childhood wound. You didn't work on your boundaries. You're an empath. You love hard. You nurture hard. Oh my God, right? 5 years later, you're still an empath. So when you go back out in the dating pool, you're still an empath with horrible boundaries just like before. You may say my cutoff game is whatever, but once you find somebody that you like, the empath gonna kick in and you're gonna get got just like that because you didn't learn how to regulate it. It's still in you. You're just 5 years older. And you'd be like, no, you didn't do anything in 5 years but sit down. So they're going to find you because you're going to still allow things that you shouldn't allow because you did not learn how to regulate it. You think you won because you sat out. No. You need to get these tools, number one, so you don't have to wait 5 years, and number two, so you can go out there and figure out who aligns with you instead of trying to grab something so you can overlove them with your empathic ass. Calm down. It can be done. I did it. Okay? I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm big bro right now. Stop it. Sit down. You know, my platform is called Sit Down and Heal because I had to this is my story. I just want y'all to jump on the train and be like, you know what? Maybe I do need to detox from this crap because I keep complaining maybe it is my inner child. I need to talk to Coach Derrick because something ain't right. I keep running into the same stuff. Oh my God, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, if you don't know, come get some no. So you can say no. Y'all like how I did that, right? Come get some no, KNOW, so you can say no. Jesus, they say my stuff don't land all the time, but damn it, sometimes it does. Bars. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and land this plane, y'all. Y'all want y'all to have the most amazing night ever, right? But if you need my help, I'm here. Like this was a deep topic. We still got one more left because it's a series and this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we got to care about it. If you didn't ever care about it before, care about it now. And maybe at some point, right? You'll watch me enough. You'll absorb me enough. Maybe some of y'all might click the link in the profile and see what I do, right? And then maybe over time, you'll come back enough and you'll trust me enough to want to sit down and heal and get that real help, get that real structure, get those real tools, get those workshops and whatever else I prescribe to you to work on yourself so you don't show up the same way. So the dating pool is pee and all that. Anybody saying the dating pool is pee, you need coaching because your experiences are defined by the energy that you project. Stop it. So now I'm out. Y'all have a great night. Sitdownandheal.com. You can find me on the YouTube channel at Sit Down and Heal as one word. That's the quickest way to find it. Go look at all the past replays if you enjoyed this one. And we'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. And then if you feel froggy on TikTok, if you follow me and click the notification bell, I do pop-ups all throughout the week. So you might want to catch those too. You might learn something. And if you learn something, you might be inspired to get more help. I land my plane. Y'all have an amazing night, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.